Hello everyone, welcome to the CTV News on Calabash TV and on the Wave Radio 94.5. I am Lisa Joseph. Debate on the 2015-2016 Appropriations Bill, commonly referred to as the budget, came to a close Friday afternoon, with both sides of the House hurling accusations and laying blame for the poor economic state of the country. The leader of the opposition, while declining to utilize the 3 hours allotted to her in response to the budget statement, told the House that the Prime Minister failed to inspire with his presentation. Dr. Gov't went on to criticize the Labour administration for mismanaging the economy. Small businesses, she said, are casualties of the bad policies of the government.
What did we hear on Tuesday evening to suggest the same small businesses, member for Beaufort South, whose doors are now shut on Clark Street in Beaufort, and if you go to any of the shopping plazas anywhere in this country, you will see them being boarded up, you will see them changing ownership, you will meet them becoming a new class. You know what that new class is, Mr. Speaker? A new poor. I'm asking again, and I want to repeat, I have asked for a particular figure. Of all the figures we speak of in this House, how many small businesses have closed down, and how many people who were previously employed with those businesses now find themselves on the breadline and have become part of an emerging class known as the new poor. Because these are people who previously, prior to the draconian application of the 15% VAT, were able to fend for themselves and their families. And they now find themselves out of business, partly on account. Mr. Speaker, these people have been, you know, the first recommendation I need to make to the people of St. Lucia, the small businesses who have now closed and whose people are now unemployed, ensure that at the next poll you do the right thing.
St. Lucia, Dr. Gov't said, is in need of foreign direct investment as a means to grow the economy. A worrying factor for the leader of the opposition is the national debt, which she described as a noose around the neck of the government and the people.
And God forbid, Mr. Speaker, especially with respect to short-term debt, some of which mature every, 90 days or so, bonds and treasury bills, that the day we begin to experience any slippage, this country will experience problems that we cannot even begin to imagine. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm really hoping that we can do more to, one, generate more revenue without necessarily having to hurt the people of this country, and two, manage our debt portfolio so as not to create any further anxiety with respect to our ability to service our debt. The expansion in debt, we have been forewarned, is unsustainable and will continue to have a negative impact on our economic growth if it is not managed or sustained. And I've made the point previously, Mr. Speaker, because we know that there is no inherent danger in borrowing in and of itself. It is what you borrow for, whether you're borrowing to finance your current expenditure, or are you borrowing to pump into your productive sector through your capital expenditure so that you can expand your productive base and all the other things I've said with respect to generating growth and growing the economy.
And Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony, in rebuttal, expressed shock at the opposition's inability to challenge the plans of the government. Dr. Anthony argued that his administration has been able to stabilize the deficit, affording more room for maneuvering.
We said to you that that will result in an increase in our deficit from the 3.4% and not 4.1%, which you quoted in some in some interview. But 3.4, 3.7, back up to 5.8. But the difference this time is this. And I'm not even going to bother and talk about the fiscal, the current surplus and current account. I'll leave that alone for the time being. The difference is this, that while our deficit may go back up to 5.8, we can now manage it. And what did we say to you? We said our philosophy on taxation. We promised the people of St. Lucia that, look, you have been paying VAT. We introduced VAT. We said to you, we're going to make adjustments to personal income tax, shift the tax burden to indirect taxes, and we have done just that. We have done just that. And then you say to us, there's no plan, there's no vision, there's no approach, that there's none of that.
Meantime, Commerce Minister Emma Hippolyte, in response to Dr. Rigobert's claim that small businesses are closing down in large number, told the House that her ministry bears information to the contrary.
For the last year, with the opening of the Small Business Development Center, some 124 businesses have registered in the center. Mr. Speaker, 140 clients were trained. 87 companies received help for incorporation. And 443 applications were received for business name registration, Mr. Speaker. That is the statistics that we have within the Ministry of Commerce. Yes. That's what I'm saying. But she has a research. You see. That's true. You see. So that is the information. I want to respond to that. That's the information. Yes. No, but I'm also saying that as a colleague, we need to ask, and I think yesterday the Minister for Babuno also raised that issue. It is not good as a colleague or a parliamentary rep that every minute you issue a press statement to ask a question. That is, you have not understood your role in terms of this being a member of this parliament. Yeah. You should be able to use, yes, you should be able to pick up the phone. For example, if your research officer is having difficulty in getting information from my ministry, you should be able to pick up the phone and call and ask a question. Because that is what we are here to do. We are here on both sides of this house to run a government and represent the people. This them and us is what is causing this country to be where it is.
Minister Hippolyte, in her eagerness to school the leader of the opposition, provided moments of levity in the House, prompting the Speaker to intervene.
You spoke about inflows from direct foreign investment was stupid. But I also know you listen to the news every day, and that is worldwide. You know that. So when you present it as if...
Member, please address the chair.
Thank you, Mr. My apologies, Mr. Chair.
To the honourable member.
Mr. Chair, I apologize. Thank you. All of us listen, Mr. Chair. You listen to the news every day. You listen to BBC. You listen to BBC and CNN. That's right. You listen to what is happening in Greece. That's right. You listen to what is happening in the UK. You listen to what is happening in Europe. So when you say you took a lot of time in terms of describing, going to the dictionary to see what is stupid, it is stupid. Yes. But what are your recommendations to cause it to do better? You ask a question, perhaps government should put a committee to stimulate the economy without putting additional taxes on people. How could you say so? How could you? You have, you know, I mean, if it was a member for Castries, sorry, Mr. Speaker, if it was a member for Castries Northeast, Southeast, I might have had an excuse. But you know better, because with your knowledge, your experience as a university lecturer, you must not present half-baked chickens to the people of St. Lucia. You must not do that. You must not.
address the chair. Do not address the member for Meekwood North directly.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Please.
The member for Meekwood North must not serve half-baked chicken to the people of St. Lucia, Mr. Speaker.
That's right.
Yeah, you must not, Mr. Speaker, the member for Meekwood North must not do that.
And the minister with responsibility for health also sought to set the record straight, addressing criticisms about the health sector. Alvina Reynolds told the House that while she is being slammed for a poor healthcare system, more particularly St. Jude's Hospital, she has been awaiting a report from the administration in order to chart the way forward procedurally.
Elimination of the backlog of audited financial statements. Expected timeline for completion, Mr. Speaker, was April 30th, 2015. Not yet received. Conducting a comprehensive workforce analysis to determine the most efficient complement of staff needed to run the hospital. To complete and implement a much-needed hospital costing exercise. Reduce wastage of hospital medical supplies and pharmaceuticals by closely controlling stocks, monitoring usage, and tracking expiry dates. Improve the efficiency of hospital debt collection. Mr. Speaker, the team at St. Jude, they're very much aware of what some of the problems are. But when you hear this noise in the media, Mr. Speaker, people do not understand, they do not want to understand, and it's all that the minister or the ministry is not paying attention. We move on, Mr. Speaker, and I heard the question this morning about the commissioning of the hospital. It takes about 6 months, Mr. Speaker, to commission a hospital. There are lots that goes into it, Mr. Speaker, and we are working with both St. Jude and your National Hospital alongside to ensure that all goes well. It's not just equipment and move people, Mr. Speaker. There is a process to go through to ensure that you commission well, the transition is smooth, and so the hospital continues to function as efficiently and effectively as possible.
And with regards to claims that the healthcare system is deficient, Minister Reynolds said the statistics show otherwise.
Mr. Speaker, from January to December 2014, patient occupancy at Victoria Hospital, 65.3%, at St. Jude Hospital, 57.8%. Mr. Speaker, births at Victoria Hospital, 1,145 births, stillbirths, 15, percentage 0.013%. When you look at stillbirths. Births at St. Jude Hospital, 734, Mr. Speaker, out of that, 12 stillbirths, percentage 0.016%. We were not satisfied with this, Mr. Speaker. We called in the assistance of PAHO, who came in and did an audit, assessed what was going on at the hospital levels to understand why we recognized the 15 stillbirths at Victoria and 12 births at St. Jude. This is a government and a ministry that shows that they care. We look at admissions at VH, 8,400. St. Jude, 3,622. Accident and emergency, 22,322. Outpatient visits for the year, 15,875. Nephrology, you're talking about kidney, Mr. Speaker, 9,328. At St. Jude, Mr. Speaker, admission and visit, 47,727. Mr. Speaker, look at clinics at the hospital. St. Jude, diabetes, 1,894. Orthopedics, 1,879. Pediatrics, 2,000 plus. Mr. Speaker, when you hear the cry about the hospital failing, the health sector failing.
Health Minister Alvina Reynolds there. Stay with CTV News. We're back after the break.